Good morning, my people, my people. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. I am the diaspora machismo. My people, it was another beautiful day for a protest, and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Let me first remind you, the front of my sign says, I don't want the white man's money, the white man's woman, the white man's friendship, and or the white man's fee. And the reverse of my sign says, white man, why have you enslaved the African American? My people, all in all, it have been another beautiful day for protest. And I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Unfortunately, there's nothing particularly important that I should bring to your attention. And you know, after I finished protesting, and I've brought you something from as to my protest, it is always my delight and desire to bring you something from the word of the Most High God. My people, let me start by saying there are too many of our people who just started life, who are being struck down by murder and who are murdering each other. There are too many of our people who have just started life, who have not even begun to contribute to the development of themselves, their family and their community, that are being struck down by terminal illnesses, and very often they succumb to their illnesses. My people, no one is supposed to die by the hands of another, as in being murdered. No one is supposed to contract and die from cancer and other terminal illnesses. My people, our body is fearfully and wonderfully made. Cancer and these things are alien to us. When we are murdered and when we are put in a place where we are killing another person, it is because we brought it on ourselves. When you get cancer and other terminal illness, it is because you brought it on yourself, and I am going to explain. But before I explain that, let me tell you a beautiful story, a tragic story from my past, and I want to tie it in to everything that happened here. When I was about 7 years old, sometime after my mother's death, there was a lady in our community, Rose Place, Bottomtown, who became pregnant with her 7th child. She had 6 other children at various ages, and there were 2 or 4 very small children between, I think it's the age of 8 and 2 years old. Her name was Miss Harry. This is Mrs. Harry's story. Mrs. Harry had a terrible pregnancy with her 7th child. She was instructed by the doctor to go home and rest because I think she was having preeclampsia, high blood pressure with her pregnancy, which would have complicated her safety and the safety of the child she was carrying. When it was time for Miss Harry to give birth, Miss Harry was admitted into the hospital, but she was in a critical state. She was conscious, but she was critical. Miss Harry's life was in danger. But Miss Harry could have saved her life if she allowed the doctor to terminate the 9 months pregnancy she had. If she allowed the doctor to kill the baby, Miss Harry would have been alive today, or may have been alive today, I must say. The doctor went and he explained to Miss Harry the seriousness of her condition. And when he told her her option, Miss Harry, with tears running down her eyes, she said, "Doctor, no matter what you do, please, I beg you, don't let my baby die. Don't let my baby die." The doctor explained to Miss Harry the seriousness of the situation. "Miss Harry, you will be able to have other children. So just allow me to take this one. And when you heal up, you can get pregnant again and you'll be able to have other children." Miss Harry looked at the doctor and said, "Doctor, I beg you, whatever you do, please don't let my baby die." Miss Harry didn't want to die, but she didn't want her baby to die either. The doctor continued to plead with Miss Harry. She said, "Mrs. Harry, you have 6 other children who are depending on you. 6 small children who needs you. They need their mother to ensure that life will be okay with them. You will be able to have another child if you really need another child, but if you have this child, you are going to die." And Miss Harry looked at the doctor with streams of tears now cover her face, and she pleaded with the doctor with voice of sorrow, because she knew her request to the doctor would ensure that she was going to die if the doctor's information were true. And Miss Harry, voice broken with sorrow and pain, knowing that the decision that she's called on to make here is going to see her dead and not be there to take care of her 6 other children, now 7. And Miss Harry said with broken voice, broken heart, and tears streaming down her eyes, "Doctor, please, I beg you, whatever you do, don't let my baby die." The doctor had no choice but to adhere to Miss Harry's wishes. And the doctor, broken by sorrow, because it was easier for him to abort a 9-month-old baby than for him to watch a mother, an adult mother with all of her faculties intact, with a capability of having more children, who had a husband that depended on her to take care of the children when he went to sea to fish for a living. He satisfied Miss Harry's wish. After the baby was born, Miss Harry just had a little bit of life in her, and the doctor, sensing the urgency of the situation, placed the newborn baby, even before he cut the umbilical cord, upon Miss Harry's breast, and she get the opportunity to feel the warmth of her newborn child and to feel the beat of that baby's heart. And then, with a final breath, she said to the doctor, "Doctor, let baby Didi know that I love her." She called her other children by name and said to the doctor, "Let each of them know that I love them, and I love baby Didi also." Then she closed her eyes and she died. I knew all of the members of Miss Harry's family, except Miss Harry. I would have seen her, but I didn't know her. As a child, I'd see her, but I didn't know her. But I grew up with all of the other members of Miss Harry's family in my neighborhood. You may be wondering, Chief, what does Miss Harry's story have to do with all of the murdering that's happening in our countries and the terminal illness that our young people all over is coming down with? And that is a very good question. Now, a lot of our people have been deceived into believing that some very dangerous practices in our community are okay. What am I speaking about? The Caucasians has cultured us to believe that if you are pregnant and you are in school, if you are pregnant and you are a professional, it is okay to have an abortion. And when you have that abortion, you can always have children after. Because the baby that you're carrying will complicate your life and will hamper your progress and your future. My people, this is the greatest lie that could ever be told. They also told us that homosexuality is just another means of having sex. And if you participate in homosexuality, or if you are a homosexual, it is okay because you were born like this. This is another dangerous lie. They have been promoting bestiality as something that is pleasurable and harmless. And when you are raped, you are shamed into keeping your rape quiet. What I'm saying here, I am saying that these 4 incidents, when you are a victim of rape or when you voluntarily participate in homosexuality, bestiality, or have an abortion, you are setting yourself up for danger. My people, let me explain what I'm speaking about, right? In Leviticus chapter 20 verse 13, it says there, if a man will lie with a man as he will lie with a woman, it's an abomination. He must be put to death and his blood shall be on his own hands. My people, a lot of people are of the opinion that if they were not discovered and they were not put to death, then they escape the law of Leviticus chapter 20 verse 13. But they are lying to themselves and they are lying to the world, because we have to remember that when we look at death as just the absence of life, there is another death which is called a demotion to a lower spiritual plane. My people, when the Most High said to Adam and Eve, who were perfect, if they eat of the tree in the midst of the garden, they shall surely die. He was not speaking about the absence of life. He was speaking about Adam and Eve moving from a higher plane, which is perfection, and with the ability to communicate with the Most High God, to a lower plane, which is imperfection. And that ability to communicate with the Most High God and all the other perks that went along with their perfection, control over the entire animal kingdom, they lose it because they move from one plane to a lower plane, from perfection to imperfection, and they suffer the consequences of that. Now, it won't be too long until they experience the absence of life. When each person is born, they're born on that lower plane where Adam and Eve transcended to. That lower plane. And because we are at that lower plane, we will experience the absence of life like Adam and Eve experienced the absence of life. But if we fall below that lower plane, then when we experience the absence of life, which is the physical death, it will be a violent experience. Okay, let me tie in Miss Harry's situation for you. In Exodus chapter 21, verse 22 to 25, it says there, if two men strive, if two men have a fight, and they injure a pregnant woman, and that pregnant woman lose the seed she was carrying, the child she was carrying, it will be life for a life. So if both of them were at fault for injuring her, that means two of them will die for the life, the unborn baby life that they cause. That is how much the Most High value a life in the womb. So if two men that was fighting and they injure a woman in the process, and that baby that the woman was carrying died, and those two men must die because of that baby's death, what is going to happen to the man and the woman who intentionally caused the death of an unborn child? What is going to happen to them? It is even worse than the accidental death of a pregnant woman. So when you intentionally cause the death of an unborn child, you are going to perforate because you are going to experience a violent death. Either somebody is going to kill you, or your body will be ravished with a terminal illness and you are going to suffer, you're going to die. In Leviticus chapter 20 verse 15 to 18, it says the same thing, that if a man or a woman lie with a beast, they must be put to death. You must kill that beast, and their blood shall be on their own hands. And in Deuteronomy chapter 22, if a man rape a woman and she did not sound an alarm, if she did not cry for help, whether during the rape, before the rape, or after the rape, when it is discovered that woman and the man must be put to death. It came down to what I'm saying here, that anytime a man rape a woman and she don't sound an alarm and warn her community, she is just as guilty as that man and anyone else that person raped after her. She should be put to death. My people, what we don't understand is when you get involved in homosexuality, bestiality, abortion, or rape, and we didn't warn our community, what happens? When man move from this spiritual plane to a low spiritual plane, you know what happens? The spirit of the Most High God leaves him. Devils and demons possesses him. And those people who controls the devils and the demons that possess you, controls you, enslaves you, and is able to determine the outcome of your life. Whether you are killed, whether your body is ravished by some terminal illnesses. Revelation chapter 13 verse 1 and 2. The devil gives to the beast, the Caucasian nation, his seat, his power, his great authority. Let us concern ourselves with the great authority, which is control over the demonic world. So if you think that you participated in homosexuality, or you intended to participate in homosexuality, and you think that others got away with it and you are going to get away with it, you are lying. If you get involved in bestiality and you think there are others who participated in bestiality and they got away with it and you can get away with it, you are lying. If you plan to get involved with an abortion and you say, look at all these women who had abortion, and they are making it, and you think they get away with it, and you think you are going to get away with it also, you are lying to yourself. And if you rape and you don't out your rapist, it's a sad day for you, because you will die. You will move from this plane to a lower plane. The Spirit of the Most High God who possesses you will leave you. Devils and demons will possess you. And those people who controls the devils and the demons that possess you, they will have a feeling on you. You will die a violent death. Someone is going to kill you, or some terminal illness is going to ravish your body. You are going to suffer before you die, one way or the other. My people, homosexuality, bestiality, abortion, and when you are raped and refuse to out your rapist, it is a dangerous thing. It is a dangerous thing. When Miss Harry was heartbroken, probably afraid to die, but on her deathbed, she had an alternative. She could have lived if she wanted to live. But she rather face her greatest fear, which was death, than to cause the death of a child she was carrying, a child within her womb, a child she became attached to. My people, if you are ever faced with a situation like Miss Harry, you have only one choice, because the Most High God value the life of the unborn child more than the life of an adult. You have already had an opportunity to live, to breathe, to experience life. You have an obligation to ensure that that unborn child get that same opportunity to live, to breathe, to enjoy life. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo, telling you to stay away from homosexuality, bestiality, and abortion. Talk to you soon.